Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. The administration today announced it will suspend DACA. That's President Obama's program that grants special work permits and amnesty from deportation to illegal immigrants who arrived in this country as minors. You might think the move would set off a national debate about immigration, the pros, the cons, how much of it we're going to need going forward, but no. Instead, the educated classes became completely hysterical, lecturing the rest of us about the racism of the middle of the country. Watch this.
We can think about the policy issues, but there's this kind of cultural undertow, that this is really red meat to his base, that it's really speaking to a kind of deep-seated cultural anxiety about the changing nature of the country.
There are people who feel threatened by immigrants, and they're using this concept of unconstitutional as a shield.
He might do away with DACA, which is another moral line that he would be crossing, which is something that would be advancing a white supremacy agenda, and also against what majority of Americans want.
Well, this isn't just demagoguery, though it is that. It's also nonsense. Whatever you think of the effects of DACA, no administration could continue it because it's illegal. U.S. immigration laws are pretty straightforward. If you're in the country illegally, you're supposed to leave. If you think that's mean or counterproductive or unfair, take it up with your legislators. Only Congress can change the law. The president is bound to faithfully enforce the laws of the United States. He or any president can simply invalidate those he doesn't like. Former Cabinet Secretary Gutierrez doesn't think this is a meaningful distinction, but if you want to live in a constitutional democracy where laws are more powerful than men, nothing is more important than that. But to our leaders, there is indeed something more important than that: political power. They've concluded that mass immigration means new and reliable voters, and that means more power for them. If they need to subvert the rule of law to get that power, they will, and they have. In states across the country, politicians now actively boast about ignoring the law. They unilaterally declare federal statutes invalid in their cities. They bar ICE agents from buildings. They give driver's licenses and in-state college tuition to people who are here illegally. They refuse to prosecute immigrants for crimes that have nothing to do with immigration, in effect giving preference to illegals over their own citizens. Congress is a little better. They look away as the laws they pass are mocked and flouted. In 2012, Barack Obama decided to take this reasoning to its rational endpoint. He just openly ignored the law by creating DACA. That move was sold as a way to protect people who don't remember living in any country except this one. But like almost everything you hear from Washington, that was mostly propaganda. People who came here illegally at 15 were just as eligible for amnesty under DACA as those who'd arrived as infants. DACA beneficiaries were not supposed to receive benefits. Remember that? That turned out to be a lie, too. In New York, for instance, DACA recipients qualify for both Medicaid and cash assistance. But this isn't simply about DACA. The program was indefensible, but it's just one manifestation of a bigger and much more ominous trend. The globalist elite has given up on concepts that have defined civilized states for more than 2 millennia: borders, citizenship, and the rule of written law itself, all abandoned in favor of a worldwide rule by unaccountable technocrats. Just today, former Washington Post reporter and proud illegal alien Jose Antonio Vargas posted a picture of his fake Social Security card on Twitter. His fellow clever people applauded. They're not pretending anymore. Watch this.
No border, no nation.
We need to make it clear that immigrants and immigration are here to stay.
You're about to graduate into a complex and borderless world.
Secretary Clinton said this, take a look, quote, "My dream is a hemispheric common market with open borders sometime in the future." Is that her dream? Is that what she wants? Open borders, an open market?
Yeah, Jake, I'm glad you asked it that way, because I don't think we can dignify documents dumped by WikiLeaks.
Right, that's fair. Is this document then, is it accurate? Did she tell Brazilian bankers that
I have no way of knowing that. I have no way of knowing.
Well, you could ask her.
Yeah, she did, in fact. By the way, nobody was talking like this 10 years ago, at least in public. This is all happening pretty fast. So it might be worth pausing to think through the consequences of these new attitudes. Borders, laws, citizenship, they're big things to give up, especially when they're done by executive fiat without giving a vote to the masses who have to deal with the actual consequences of these changes. When you refuse to control your borders, you're saying that the country doesn't belong to its people, but to the whole world. When you give away citizenship to anyone who wants it, you're saying that citizenship isn't worth anything. Is that really our position now?